shit, it's a sequel to a movie I actually really enjoy. I hope it's actually good. Oh, fuck. So yeah, Pacific Rim 2 is a big steaming pile of hot garbage. It really is a bad movie. For starters, nothing has weight like in the first Pacific Rim. Characters have no motivation, everything feels bland and unestablished, and it just feels boring and empty and lifeless. Like, I swear, unlike the first movie, characters just appear and it's like, hey, remember when you did this thing that we're never gonna show? Hey, remember when this thing happened before the movie? Not gonna establish any of it, we're just gonna remind you it happened, but it happened before the movie started, so you know what happened. Like, there are characters like this one girl in it who's like part of this trio of the main characters, but only appears like twice and goes nowhere in the film, and it's just a waste of a character. And then there's John Boyega, who plays a character who's supposed to be the one we're all kind of, tied to and care about, but he's so uninteresting and boring and has nothing to do through the whole movie until he has to do something. He's an empty slate until the script says he has to do something, and then he does it, and it's just so lifeless. He has no motivation whatsoever, and just gets sucked into the plot for the sake of the plot happening. Oh, and speaking of the plot, it is fucking stupid. This movie has a plot that makes absolutely no fucking sense. For one, it can't really decide what it wants the plot to be, and two, the plot is just ridiculously stupid and feels so boring and so uneventful that you honest to God have to question your sanity while watching the film. And it's such in pale comparison, because in the first one, the plot made sense. Characters had motivation, they had reason to do what they were doing, they had a story, they had a beginning, middle, and end, but in this film, none of that really exists. Characters do shit for the sake of doing it, they're never explained, they're never delved into, nothing happens. Like, honestly, nothing happens in this movie that you actually give two shits about. Characters die, and it's not cared about. Next scene, people forgot it ever happened, and characters just don't even react to it. Also, for my next complaint, I have to spoil something, so skip to this time if you don't want it spoiled. You gone? Okay, good. Charlie fucking causes the apocalypse. Yeah, him from the last movie, the kaiju groupie guy who had a really good plot. He felt like the underdog of the story. Yeah, no, he's been kind of fucking his kaiju brain, and it's linked him to it. So he literally has spent a decade trying to reopen the portal so that fucking kaiju can come and destroy the world. And regardless of the fact that that's really fucking stupid, Charlie was the underdog of the last movie. Like I said, he was really good, and I enjoyed him. And then he just gets completely fucking destroyed in this movie. His character is just fucking brutally annihilated, which sucks, because I actually really enjoyed his character arc, motivation, and story in the first movie, and only for it to be completely fucking killed here. Not to mention, he's one of the only fucking characters from the first movie that are even in this one. This movie is it just does not take itself seriously. And yeah, I guess you could maybe argue and say that the enjoyable part is the fight scenes, but even that, the fight scenes have no emotion or weight to them. There's no stakes, there's nothing in them, so they just feel bland, uneventful action for the sake of, hey, it's an action movie, we gotta have action in it. There's no setup or payoff to any of the action fights. They just, here's an action fight, done. Here's an action fight, done. None of it has any fucking weight. All in all, there's not much I can really say about this movie other than what I've already said. It's boring, has no fucking character-driven force. The characters are uninteresting, lifeless, and have nothing going for them. They have nothing like in the first movie to have a driving force to want to do anything in this film. The action scenes have no weight and just kind of feel placed in for the sake of being there. Characters do shit that's never explained and is just said to be, oh, it happened before the movie. So the movie is just this big, lifeless hunk of nothing, and it really is a chore to watch this film. Even if you can find some enjoyment in the action scenes, everything that ties them together is just so boring and so annoying to watch because it, honest to God, just feels like a joke. Like as if it's just parodying the original. And it sucks because I actually really like the first Pacific Rim. Like I said, I don't consider the first Pacific Rim a masterpiece. But compared to this, it is a much better film. Because shit happens in that film. You know, stuff goes on. Characters have reason. And everything actually makes sense. The fight scenes have weight and heart to them. Unlike this big lifeless hull of a movie that has nothing going for it. And if I can give you anything, I'd just say watch the first Pacific Rim. Do not watch this because, boy, is it just a waste of fucking time. It is a chore to watch. Nothing happens. The characters are horrible. Anything from the first film feels like it's been ruined now because everything's made out to be stupid and the plot completely ruins everything about the first film. So yeah, I mean, the most I can just say is don't watch this. It is that bad. It does not deserve to be watched. There does not need to be another sequel to this film. Just leave it dead. I feel sad that this is what happened to Pacific Rim as a franchise and to what Guillermo del Toro made for the first film. It's kind of sad that this is what we got for a sequel and a continuation of the story. And personally, I didn't think there needed to be a sequel. I never wanted a Pacific Rim sequel. Thought it was good as a solo single movie. But anyway, I'm giving this a 3 out of 10. It really is dumb and really is bad. And just don't fucking watch it, please.